Okay, so here's a big question for you. Can a magic franchise, one that's already on its third movie, actually still surprise us? Or are we just kind of watching the same old tricks, but with flashier effects?
Right.
That's really what looms over the latest Now You See Me film. We've really dug into the reviews, the analysis of Now You See Me, Now You Don't, to figure out what people are saying, what's new, and where this whole thing with the eye might be heading. So our mission today, it's pretty straightforward. We want to give you that shortcut, the inside scoop. We'll cover the critical take, the key new bits they added, and yeah, maybe most interestingly, where the franchise could go next. All the good stuff, basically. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. So first off, context. This third one, it's really trying hard to capture that original magic, you could say. It brings back the main Horsemen.
Yeah.
You've got Eisenberg as Atlas, Woody Harrelson as Merritt, Dave Franco's Jax, and crucially, Isla Fisher is back as Henley Reeves, which is a big deal. And their mission, according to the analysis we looked at, involves this huge diamond heist, all supposedly set up by that mysterious group, the Eye.
Okay, hang on. The Eye. We should probably pause there for a sec. Just remind everyone, who or what exactly is the Eye?
Yeah, good point. Crucial context. So the Eye is this ancient, almost mythical secret society. They recruit the best illusionists, the ones who believe magic should be used for, justice, not just entertainment. They're the ones behind the curtain. And in this movie, it seems like they're testing the Horsemen again, pushing them towards some new grand illusion. And to do that, the team has gotten way bigger. The sheer size of the cast, that's actually a major point in the reviews. It's this 8-person ensemble now.
Right, the new blood. They've added Justice Smith, Dominic Sessa, Ariana Greenblatt. So does the analysis say if mixing the old guard with these fresh faces works, does it add excitement or just make it crowded?
Well, it's kind of both, actually. And that leads us straight into the big debate around the film, what we're calling spectacle versus substance. I mean, critics generally agreed the returning cast still has that charisma. Eisenberg's Atlas, apparently he's less of the bratty genius this time, more grounded, which maybe suggests some growth, not just the same old act. And Harrelson's still got that screen presence, definitely. Overall, it's seen as a crowd pleaser. It, sustains the series' playful trickery, as one review put it.
Okay, so it sounds like it delivers the flash, the big moments, the slick production that fans probably want. But that's where the but comes in, right?
Absolutely, and this is what's fascinating. The critique is pretty consistent across the board. Yes, it's polished, technically impressive, but the reviews keep saying it lacks, originality, depth. You see it in the scores, like Rotten Tomatoes. It's hovering around 61%, which is okay, mixed positive, but still means almost 40% of critics weren't fully convinced.
And that 39%, they must have had specific issues beyond just, it wasn't amazing. Was it character stuff or just franchise fatigue setting in?
It leans heavily towards fatigue, yeah. Specifically, structural fatigue. The main complaint boils down to it feeling very by the book. Predictable, like more of the same.
The Guardian summary was pretty sharp. Enjoyable, but ultimately forgettable. Ouch. It sticks really closely to that established formula, The recruitment, the complicated setup, the twisty villain reveal, the big finale. And sure, that familiarity is comforting for fans, maybe, but it seems like it came at the expense of genuine surprise.
And there's also that specific point about the magic itself, the technical side, which I thought was really insightful.
Exactly. Think about a real magic show. Part of the thrill is knowing it's live, it's happening right there, there's risk involved. That intimacy, it just evaporates when the movie translates these massive tricks into what critics are calling, CGI-heavy cinematic spectacle.
Right, so instead of me thinking, wow, how did they do that? I'm just thinking, cool visual effect. It kind of breaks the illusion. Precisely. It stops feeling like interactive magic and just becomes another special effects sequence. One reviewer put it really bluntly, imagine act without the storytelling. The tension just fizzles.
Yeah.
So the takeaway for you, listening, is kind of this. If you just want slick, fast-paced escapism, it probably delivers that. But if you're looking for that intellectual puzzle of great stage magic or, deep character stuff, this shift towards CGI spectacle might leave you feeling a bit underwhelmed. It undermines that core willingness to believe.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The magic feels less magical. Okay, so if the structure felt a bit worn and the CGI took away some of that core magic, where did they actually innovate? Let's move into that. Segment 2. New tricks and nostalgic nods. What did they do that felt fresh?
Well, they were pretty smart about tapping into things that have become huge since the last film came out. The really noticeable new things are these structured puzzle mechanics, which seem heavily inspired by escape rooms. And also, they layered in this significant tarot motif, a bit more mysticism this time around.
The escape room thing, that's clever. It shifts the focus from these huge, grand illusions to something more contained, right? Puzzle solving. How does that actually change the feel of the film?
It makes it feel tighter, maybe more intense in moments. Instead of just watching a big crowd get fooled, you're watching the Horsemen figure out locked rooms, clues, physical traps. It's more kinetic. Maybe a bit claustrophobic sometimes. And it definitely modernizes things, taps into that escape room trend everyone knows. Plus, it kind of invites you, the audience, to try and solve it along with them. So the plot feels less like just another heist and more like a layered mystery box.
That does sound like a potentially interesting twist on the formula. Now, on the other side, you mentioned nostalgia. Bringing Isla Fisher back as Henley, that feels like a big, deliberate nod to the original fans, doesn't it? She was missing from number 2.
Oh, absolutely. That was a very clear signal. But the nostalgia, it actually goes deeper than just the cast. The plot structure itself, the team being kind of fractured and then having to reunite for this big multi-stage challenge, it really mirrors the structure of the first film quite strongly, which, you know, is a bit of a double-edged sword. And reviewers also pointed out this interesting thing with the real-world marketing. They apparently did a stunt giving away money to fans, like $250,000 reported, which deliberately echoes that big bank heist trick from the first movie's marketing. It's smart, kind of meta marketing for sure, but it also reinforces that central question the film itself seems to grapple with. Is it celebrating its legacy, or is it just, you know, stuck repeating its greatest hits? That repetition, it risks feeling stale.
That is the perfect transition point, actually, because even with those concerns about repetition, this third film definitely sets up a fourth one. It's confirmed, it's in development. So this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Segment 3. Predicting the next illusion. What's it thinking here?
All right, well, if you look at other long-running franchises, you know, your Fast and Furious, your Mission Impossible types, they often hit this point where they pivot to a legacy model. And the analysis strongly suggests that's the likely path for Now You See Me 4. The prediction is that the original Horsemen, Atlas, Merritt, Jack, Henley, they'll kind of step back, become the mentors, maybe running the eye more directly. While that younger trio, Smith, Sessa, Greenblatt, they take center stage as the new main team.
Ah, okay, so the old guard passes the torch, guides the new generation through whatever the next big illusion is. Makes sense, but what does that mean for the magic itself? More escape rooms.
Well, probably a significant technical evolution. Expect something even bigger, more global, maybe more meta. Since the physical magic is kind of hitting that CGI fatigue wall we talked about, the logical next step seems to be diving into digital magic. Think AR/VR illusions, or maybe doubling down on those complex, high-tech escape room mechanics, but on a massive scale. The target could become perception itself on a global level, like a meta heist involving manipulating information, maybe a huge deepfake scam, or using augmented reality to trick entire cities. The complexity shifts from, you know, cards and stages to digital manipulation and information warfare.
Whoa, okay. That kind of digital focus implies a very different kind of threat, doesn't it? A villain who can operate in that space, maybe even turn their own tricks back on them.
Precisely. That's the prediction for the next antagonist. Someone using AI, maybe deepfake tech, to actually fool the Horsemen themselves. The tricksters become tricked, and that would shift the whole emotional core, wouldn't it? If the eye is about truth and justice through illusion, what does legacy even mean when magic becomes code? How do you create a meaningful illusion when seeing is believing is fundamentally broken by technology? That feels like the big question the next film might have to tackle. How do you misdirect when the trick itself is digital? So ultimately, the verdict from the sources on Now You See Me, Now You Don't is that it's competent. A solid continuation, a safe play. It gets like a hypothetical B grade, maybe 3.5 stars out of 5. It delivers the spectacle for sure, but kind of sidesteps the deeper questions or narrative risks.
Okay, so wrapping up if you're listening, you've now got the lowdown on the film's reception, those key new bits, the escape rooms, the tarot stuff, and this pretty ambitious legacy plan for the future involving AI and digital magic.
Yeah.
You know, what landed and why some critics felt it was maybe a bit too familiar.
And that really brings us to one final thought, something provocative for you to chew on. This film, and maybe the franchise direction, it asks us to be happy with the spectacle, perhaps over the philosophy behind the magic. But if the very heart of illusion is making the audience question, what did I really just see? Does moving all that spectacle into CGI and digital realms fundamentally change our ability or even our willingness to believe? If the trick is just pixels, where does the magic actually go?
That is a great question to ponder as the Horsemen potentially ride off the stage and maybe into the metaverse. We really hope this deep dive gave you some genuine insight into, well, the art of cinematic misdirection. If you enjoyed this discussion and you want more breakdowns like this, definitely check out our other work. Like, comment your thoughts below, and please subscribe for more deep dives into books, news, dramas, and movies.